This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane, of course. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. We'd love to hear from you, because we've been it's been our greatest hits for the last 2 weeks. So some of you might be thinking, sitting at home thinking, is this some kind of it's some kind of recording, but no, this is us live
We've had
on air.
a fair few emails saying, hey, how can Frank be doing the radio and be on Saturday Kitchen? And the answer is he wasn't. He was the best ofs on the radio, but it was the real Frank, as far as we know, on Saturday Kitchen.
No, it was the real me. It's interesting, because often we have to have the telly on at all times, mute in the studio.
Yes, just in case something...
Because of the Queen. So we watched...
you actually said it.
We watched Saturday...
think it.
Oh, God forbid
Tickled
it should...
me.
God forbid it should happen, but... nevertheless, telly on. And we watch... well, we don't watch them, but Saturday Kitchen is on mute, and one can't... With irresistible programme. As many programmes are mute, I find. For example, 8 out of 10 Cats Do Countdown mute. You can see all the hate, which you can't see when the sound's on, because you're led into laughter.
Stuff. Yeah.
But underneath the laughter, there's a sort of bass clef. If you say that the laughter is the treble clef on 8 out of 10 Cats Do Countdown, the bass clef is malice.
You think
and you can't hear that unless you turn the sound down. It's
right.
very, very. Anyone who's interested in human psychology, I suggest you try that, body language, etc.
Well, we're back.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember.
I like a mute sometimes on the telly, because sometimes I like to be going about my business, but I don't necessarily want to be drawn in.
Yes.
But I believe it was Paul Gascoigne who needed the TV on at all times.
He certainly slept with the telly on.
Is that right?
Yes.
I can't sleep. I can't sleep with him. I was not like you. Yeah, that was Paul. He's just passing. He's doing a show for Magic. Yeah, at the moment. I work on that. Yeah, that would be good. I'd like to. That would be a great show, I think.
Wearing a bathrobe.
Yeah, exactly.
Chickens.
In those plastic sort of flip-flop things that footballers wear when they're hanging around.
They're slides.
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 Footballers love a pool slide.
I'll tell you who used to like those. The guy, the face. Is it the Facebook guy?
Oh, Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Is he a slides guy?
He always wore... I didn't know they were called slides. He always wore slides and a hooded top. And apparently when he wasn't in the office, he used to leave the hooded top over the back of his chair and the slides underneath. So there was a sense of his continuing presence.
Oh, that's nice.
Famous pool slides wearers. 8, 12, 15.
That's a good shout, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mm.
swimmers are straight in there. Duncan Goodhue, done.
Well, funny you went with the Duncan, because I've got suspected pool slides wearers. Ballantyne's got to love a pool slide.
Mm-hmm. I think, those sort of fat, bald directors who used to marry beautiful starlets.
Like the late Michael Winner.
Yeah, or Carlo Ponti, I think, married
yes.
Sophia Loren. They liked slides,
Yeah.
because I think there are certain blokes who think, I'm so rich, it doesn't matter what I look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I dream of
Imagine that.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Speaking of Saturday Kitchen, by the way, are you aware? I didn't know this because I've only ever seen it mute.
Oh, yeah.
But
They speak out loud.
they do that. They do that. I guess that. But heaven and hell is a thing on there, and you say your least favourite food.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And then you say your most favourite. And so I had to do that. And my most favourite food is French onion soup.
Lovely.
That's your most favourite?
Yeah, I really like that.
Did not know that about you, but that is...
I did not know that about anyone.
Yeah, I love it. And I mentioned Cafe Rouge, which they were scornful of.
Were they?
I don't know why, but I also said it's. Well, I like one of the things I like. It's the only soup that comes with a raft.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, so the idea is generally, I think, the audience make you eat the thing you ate most, which for me was marzipan.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, the audience kindly gave me heaven.
Can I just say, great choices on both of those. French onion soup and marzipan, I agree with.
Oh, can I just say?
As in not
I
like?
don't.
Don't like marzipan.
You see, oddly, the French onion soup would have been very much my hell,
Oh,
as you know.
really? Oh, because you don't like onions, do you?
Well, chives are the real enemy.
Yeah.
So did you? They let you have your heaven? Was it nice?
So the main man made me a French onion soup. Horrible.
It was.
It was, yes. It was a difficult situation to be in, but I really didn't like it.
What was horrible about it?
Well, he put, is it chorizo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And also pork. He put those in there, made it very salty and
He's had an absolute
meaty.
nightmare. This
Meaty.
guy. It's not even named in
And
the ingredients.
he mocked the Rouge, but Le Rouge, but
Yeah.
actually it wasn't in the same league as the Rouge.
Really?
I don't want meat in it. So he said, "What do you think?" And you know that thing when you taste at the end, which I think they should get rid of on cooking shows.
How did
Right.
Can't
you?
you just say there it is? Looks lovely. Anyway, next.
But did you have to...
Al, I think we should reenact the moment. So imagine I go over and go.
My
so,
guess is an honesty compulsion kicked in.
This is what he did.
Well,
so Frank, what? Have a taste of this. What do you think?
Well, I'd had a lovely time on there, so I balanced it. I said, "Well, I wouldn't have gone pork." That was what I said.
You didn't.
Yeah, but I didn't go.
Right, which was your instinct.
Yeah, I was so excited about a proper chef, and he's obviously a brilliant chef. But I think it's that thing of making it a bit signature by putting meat in it.
Yeah.
Frank, what? I'm just wondering what world we're in. Well, you think that they should be grateful that you didn't spit it out.
Brilliant.
Well, they said to me, "You can be honest about the food."
Yeah.
Right.
Wonder if they meant that.
I don't think they did for a second. Why even bring it up? But I nearly did. Anyway, I had a lovely time on there, but except for that.
I can't wait to
In fact,
dig that up on the old iPlayer.
Halfway through the onion soup, I was thinking, well, I want to try the marzipan.
Do you know what's going to happen, Frank? That's going to go viral. There's going to be one of those, you'll never believe what this British guy did when he was offered French onion soup.
I think I put on a pretty good act. I think if you watched it, apart from the port line, you'd think, oh, he loves it. Look at him. You can't, it's very hard to say, oh, no. It's, I wouldn't want them saying, well, I saw you live recently. I didn't think you were funny at all on air. That would be harsh, wouldn't it? Even if they thought it.
Yes, but you did say I wouldn't have gone pork. That's like if someone came backstage and said to you, I wouldn't have ended with that joke, though.
Yeah, I'd still be, they'd be dead to me, that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, what's pork even doing in a French onion soup?
Yeah.
But do you know what? He was showing off.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happens when you show off? Think he was tired? Show it off because he was tired.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were asking the readers earlier, which celebrity can you most imagine in the pool slide?
Yeah, now can I say again, these are like those plastic flip-flop things, often manufactured by major sports.
Yeah.
And designers now.
Are they really?
yeah, they're getting in on it.
Gucci, Givenchy, they all do them. But they effectively have just the one band.
Of plastic
Yes.
going across, yeah.
660, I can picture Colonel Gaddafi wearing a pair of leather camel skin slides.
No longer with us.
Yes, we should say.
Yeah.
When interviewed by Jon Snow or the like. That's Nasher.
So did he actually wear those, or is that an imaginary thing?
I think
That
he's
sounds
suggesting that
real.
he would be that kind of guy without
Yes.
any real evidence.
That sounds real to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, I can picture that as
Me
well.
too.
I can. That would have been very much Gaddafi's thing.
Yeah, gone but not forgotten.
I imagine Eston Blumenthal, if he had to come out of his house to speak to the press. I can imagine him coming out in shorts and a t-shirt and those things.
Pool slides.
Yeah, quite
really?
big.
Any
feet.
comics that we can imagine? Okay, I'll let you marinate that.
A lot of comics are more Birkenstock kind of characters, aren't they?
What about Pasquale? Surely he's got
I
a
don't.
full slide.
Pasquale's quite well read and stuff, though. No, I don't think so.
You don't think the pool slide goes with being well read?
No, I don't.
Rude to Colonel Gaddafi.
I'm afraid I don't. I
dated one of my father's ex-girlfriends.
Did he?
Yes.
I see Pasquale in an espadrille.
Oh, nice.
But,
It doesn't have to always be 3 syllables.
No, his whole life is 3 syllables. No, I think Joke Thief's only 2.
He's very well read of other people's material.
Who learns it off by heart.
Oh, we've been on air. Come on, half an hour.
Oh, goodness me. So, look, we were speaking of Saturday Kitchen, and I had to... Is it... You know when comedians say this, is it just me?
Oh, right.
But I was given a cold drink in a mug, and that always feels so wrong
That is weird.
to me. If I'm going to have a drink of water at the tap at home, there could be 4 mugs on the draining board, and I'll still go searching around for a glass.
Yeah.
Now, why is that? It doesn't make any sense, really. But water in a mug or a cold drink in a mug, it just... I know it's not wrong, but it doesn't feel right. It's a bit like when you see a black cab on the motorway. You
Yes.
think, aye,
Yeah.
aye, someone splashed out.
Yeah. Also,
I think someone's murdered someone.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I really do. I think only criminals would be that rash
I mean, it's
with the money.
so expensive.
So
it is expensive. And also, we're not playing to their strengths there. Shout out to all the taxi drivers that I know listen, but they're not familiar with the 3-lane motorway
it's
system.
not in the
They just-
knowledge.
They stay in the middle. They don't even know what they're doing there because it's so long since they've been there. They're happier on, left turn, right turn, bit of ducking and diving, aren't they?
The U-turn.
round.
I mean, they're a master of the U-turn.
Yes,
completely,
exactly, yeah.
completely hopeless on the motorway. The U-turn can't be used.
Sorry, so you were saying the mug with the cold beverage.
so
Occasionally, if I'm taking a tablet, I would use a mug and just put like an inch
Really?
of water in there. Boom,
Oh,
then-
we're on about Elvis. I would say, Frank, it feels to me, whenever I have a mug with cold water or any sort, I think it feels like I'm drinking the artist's paint pot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where you put the brushes.
I would rather drink from the tap using my cupped hands
Oh, yeah.
than using a mug. I don't know what it is. It just
Mowgli.
it's just something wrong about it. I used to drink from my cupped hands quite a lot in my youth. I've sort of stopped now.
Is that
Bring it
your
back.
version of the Charlton Heston?
Hey, look, recycling. There's no washing to be done.
Can I just say,
Well, obviously you wash your hands occasionally.
I have a similar thing, as I believe you know, with regard to the coloured glass.
Oh, you don't
I
like
cannot drink anything out of a coloured glass.
Okay. You see, I'm happy. I'm happy
Blue.
with that, but it's the handle. Something about the handle and a cold fluid. Anyway, we're all different. Let's establish that. What a lovely start to the new year that was with that sentiment.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I went to Rome over the Christmas break.
Oh, did you? How was it?
It was lovely, actually.
it. Where did you go?
Well, my son.
But where did you go?
Oh, I see.
You went
yes.
to Rome.
I went to
Where?
Rome. Yeah.
Where did you roam?
I roamed in the capital of Italy.
Oh, okay, great. I'm just glad we've done that.
There must have been a phone joke, because what's that Rome thing that you get?
Oh, roaming, data roaming, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, my son, who is 7, is doing ancient history, Roman, ancient Rome. So I thought we'd go and look at some of the stuff.
Excellent.
So we went to Italy's oldest McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, first one ever.
Nice.
When would you guess?
Oh, lovely question.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to guess Italy's oldest.
Yeah, so the first ever McDonald's in Italy.
Well, given that I believe the first one in the UK was in Golders Green
Okay.
around the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
I don't know whether Italy would have been behind that. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, Al.
Go for it.
1989.
Okay.
My first instinct was 82.
Okay. Well, you're right in the middle. 86 it was, in
Oh.
fact. There's a plaque. There's a lovely plaque
Bit of fun,
when you
that,
go
wasn't
in.
it?
Oh,
Saying-
there?
There is Italy's first McDonald's. Yeah, it's a beautiful.
86.
I'll tell you what it's got. Is this a phenomenon that's common in England? There's a McCafe.
Oh, right, yeah.
What's that?
I've never heard of that
I
before.
think it's a coffee bit of
We might
Yeah,
be able
it's
to get
good.
some of your French onion soup, how you like it there.
It's a lovely sort of coffee bar, but part of the McDonald's. It's like the front piece.
Lovely
in
coffee bar.
You remember in the man from Uncle, I think it used to be Del Florian, the tailor. He used to go into the tailor's shop and then straight through and then into the offices of the United Network Command for Law and Enforcement. It was
Right.
just a front. That's what the McCafe is like. It looks like a lovely Italian cafe, and then next thing you know, you're having filet-o fish.
Are they doing
For my
great?
wife.
Are they doing great business in the McDonald's cafe coffee bit in Italy? Because I would have just assumed that they'd all be drinking espressos.
No, it's a. They seem to be people. I mean, obviously, I hurried through to the
the back bit.
yeah, you know the
The
main.
back bit, what, like the poker den?
It's like when you're going for gold, you go after the main seam.
Right.
That's where I went for, and it was very fine. It was too. Anyway, before I went to Rome, I thought, well, if I'm going to be in Rome,
We'll talk about the McDonald's.
yeah, well, I thought I might try and get to the Pope.
Oh, okay.
So I
thought
found-
you meant do as the Romans do.
Well, I suppose some of them do that. Not the ancient ones, obviously.
No.
And I phoned, although some of them, if they'd hung around long enough, I phoned my management agency and said, could you get me a couple of tickets for a general audience with the Pope? And they said, leave it with us. And they got nowhere.
Really?
Rubbish. So I thought, you know
I
what?
wish you'd rung me. You know I love a challenge like that.
Well, I thought, you know what? I'm twanging the wrong wire here. Then I asked my PP, my parish priest.
Oh, excellent.
I said, you couldn't get me. You couldn't get me a couple of tickets, could you, to go into the Rome? Because every Wednesday morning the Pope
Oh.
does like a
Hang on.
big gig.
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask the ABFC?
Different.
Well, I could have done that, but
Different what?
Isn't it different? Is
Oh,
the
they still
ABFC
know each
from that
other.
guy?
he's
Archbishop of
Anglican,
Canterbury.
but they know
Yeah.
each other, you know.
They all know each other. It's
I
like
don't.
football
Isn't it like
managers.
isn't it like asking a Celtic fan for Rangers tickets? Surely you'd be better off just going to a Rangers fan.
We went into a pub the other day in
What, you and the Pope?
near Bristol and said, do you know anywhere where they do food and stuff? And they were doing food in this pub. It was a bit awkward.
Right.
So it would have been like that,
Yeah.
asking the Archbishop of Canterbury for it.
He's a kind man, though.
So anyway, I spoke to my parish priest and he said, leave it with me.
Did
Leave it with me.
he? Yeah.
And
He's got connections.
yeah. He said, I've got a couple of friends at the Venerable English College in Rome. I'll see what I can do.
Excellent.
So, well, I'll tell you what happened after this.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So, I went along to the English College in Rome with Boz to pick up our tickets
Oh, yeah.
for the audience with the Pope. And got a bit of a tour.
Of the college.
Yeah, it's an
Nice.
interesting place. It's like a seminary, it's where priests train there.
Yeah.
And there's a gallery in the upper, sort of like a minstrel's gallery with paintings on the wall. And he said, he said to Boz, you all right with gory paintings? And they are paintings of the English martyrs literally being like disemboweled and stuff. I mean, absolutely aide de memoire. What we had to put up with, aide de memoire. It was really, whoa. Anyway, we got our tickets, and the next day set off to the Vatican, and you're led into this. In cold weather, it all happens in a big room, like a big gig. So I guess it holds probably 1,000, no, maybe less than that. Say 600 people. And I noticed when we was going through the metal detector airport security thing to get in, that everyone seemed to have a green ticket and we had white tickets. And I thought, long experience of being in the VIP area, I thought, So I went up to one of these guys and showed him my ticket, and he went, and took me in. Me and Buzz ended up in the front row. Yeah.
Wow.
Which was exciting.
I like that's signified by the white ticket.
Yeah.
Because that's the closer you get to the Pope's sartorial colour choice. I mean, if you get the red ticket for the old Pope's shoes, that's it.
Can I point out that I was, as a sidebar to this conversation, I was named as one of the Catholics of today in the Catholic Herald. Pull-out supplement.
When was this?
Okay. When? Very recently, end of the year.
Right.
Oh, God, I was pleased.
Did you feel like it's too short a time frame to be called Catholics of today? Like immediately polls
I think it was
the day
today.
after.
I hope it was today in the broadest. I don't think they bring one out daily. Oh, it'd be
I love
terrible.
that he's happy about that. I mean, it's like the Royal Variety performance.
I wasn't trying to belittle it. I was just...
I was out.
So, the front row, you got the white ticket.
Also, it didn't include Adrian Chiles, which, I mean, was an extra bonus. So I went forward with the white ticket, and we were there in the front row, and over comes the Pope goes from person to person at the front and comes over to us.
No.
Shakes hands with Buzz and then starts chatting away to him in Italian. Buzz looking completely bemused. I don't know if Buzz looks Italian. He's ginger.
Right.
Can I ask, is this your first meeting with this Pope?
It's my first actual... I mean, I shook his hand and we smiled at each other. It's the first time I've ever done that with a Pope. And
Excellent.
I know it may sound strange to you guys, but you should have seen the entrance. When they had an umpire band there that had come over, and he come in at the back and they were all playing, and he come down the aisle shaking hands like a game show host.
Brilliant.
Down the centre, and this band, and he's there doing kissing babies. And there's a thing that they do, the little white hat he wears. People take their own little white hat and give it to the Pope, and he takes his off, he puts theirs on for a second.
Oh, really?
And then he puts his back on and gives them.
You see, he seems quite amenable then. But what was this about the lady?
Oh, when he slapped the hand.
Yeah.
She did yank on him, though.
Did you see that? She nearly pulled him over.
Yeah, I didn't like her.
Okay.
Well, I've had that a few times.
This might be breaking news, but I side with the Pope on that one.
This is a special moment for us all. No, you can't pull out people
really
in
capitalise on it while
people
they've
in
got
their 80s.
No.
Well, I was thinking when this happened to me, I thought, if I talk about this on the radio, how do I explain to Al how excited I was? And it's a bit like if an atheist met former GMTV presenter Fiona Phillips, who is a self-confessed atheist.
Is she?
Yeah.
Didn't know
If
that.
you imagine that.
I can imagine.
Imagine
wow.
the post-Phillips euphoria.
Yeah, dizzy.
That's what... It was brilliant. I'll tell you what was great, though, is we do the handshake and it's all lovely. He's got a brilliant smile. You feel more... he blessed a couple of medals for us. And then you turn around, your chair's gone.
Is that right?
Yeah, right. That's you, Don.
You're out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right, brilliant. But it was pretty brilliant, I must say.
Is that what happens here with the chair? When it's time for you to move on,
yes.
You turn around, studio, your chair's gone.
At Absolute.
Yeah, Absolute Radio.
But what about people like Bush, who stands up for his show?
Yeah. And he's still here.
What about if I came back from the bathroom, my chair had gone?
You'd know.
I mean, how would you tell Bush he'd been sacked? What I would have is I'd have a tub of hot wax in the corner as a metaphor.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Good diction there on
Thanks.
the 81215.
Yeah, I think it's important to get that a class.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
you used it all up, didn't you?
Oh, no.
I'd like to share with you an email from Jonathan, if that's all right.
Yeah.
You ready for it? It begins thus. I was once stopped at US Customs and Immigration.
Okay.
I was led aside.
I think this might be. Remember, I talked about that I'd bought Buzz a Star Wars magazine.
Oh yes,
and
we should put the context. I
there was a
apologise.
plastic gun free with it, which they picked up on the X-ray. Yeah.
I think one of your novelty text-ins before Christmas was, have you ever tried to get through customs with a plastic weapon or similar?
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think it was something like that.
How did that go as a texting? Some of them, I mean, indeed do fall on stony ground.
Well, we're doing it now.
Well, okay. Let's see what happens.
Might be a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Yes. I was once stopped at US Customs and Immigration. I was led aside as numerous armed officers appeared and surrounded me.
Oh, dear.
A rather serious female officer then confronted me with the statement, "We believe you are carrying contraband in your hand luggage."
She sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I assured her that I was not when I was shown the X-ray image and that it was a family heirloom, which did, I had to agree, resemble the shape of a Mills bomb grenade, but was in fact
A what?
a Mills bomb grenade.
What is? Should I know what that is?
I'm guessing it's a hand grenade.
I assume it's some sort of well-known hand
They
grenade.
call that contraband. Okay.
But was in fact a hand counter used in needlework and more usefully in circuit training.
Oh, my mum used to have one when she knitted. My mum, she used to have a little thing that went on the end of the needle, and with each row, you'd turn the number round once, so you knew how many rows you'd
We
done.
should describe it. It looks somewhat like, fellow dog owners, hello. Well, no, it looks like a dog clicker, we call it. So, but it has
What
three.
does a dog clicker count?
You use it to train dogs. It's more sort of a noise-based thing.
Oh,
but this
okay.
one has rotating numbers like the fruit machine sort of thing, doesn't it?
I have to say, perhaps it's a searing insight on my life, but I didn't recognise this gadget from needlework or circuit training. I think it looks like those gadgets that bouncers have as people are going into nightclubs.
Yes.
Maybe I'm the
If your
party
name's
animal.
not down,
Yeah.
you're not coming in. Not tonight. Not tonight. Yeah.
What I liked is the producer nodded at Alan with recognition as if to say that this is more my area.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's because young people, even if they knew the knitting thing, wouldn't own up to it. Whereas when
You're
he
right.
said nightclub, it was, oh, God, now I can be cool at last.
So he finishes by saying, I was allowed to retain my treasured possession and enter the country, but I couldn't get any of the immigration staff to see the funny side.
No.
Jonathan.
No,
They're not a
Right.
laugh a minute often, those
they're not
guys.
people who are appointed for their humour, are they?
No.
They're appointed for their seriousness, in fact, I would say.
Well, you say that. I had one in America who repeatedly said to me, "Ma'am, do you drink alcohol?" And it was a bit scary.
Why-
At the time
why-
I did.
Why was he saying that?
Well, I assumed he was suggesting I was drunk, which I
right.
wasn't. He kept saying, "Ma'am, do you drink alcohol? Do you drink alcohol?" And he asked me repeatedly. At the time I did. I no longer do, but at the time I did, and I chose to lie.
Did you?
Yes, I said no.
Oh, see that.
And then he said, "Oh,
He
it's a
might-
shame,
he's gonna
because
tell
I
you-
have some bars to recommend." And I think he
did he?
might have been, And I
was
think he
flirting.
might have been having a flirt.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, that was my guess, that he might have been going to say, "I would like a wine with you," but just he's a bit robotic.
It's just an odd opener. Do you drink alcohol?
Yeah.
That's a good. I don't like people flirting though when the rubber glove box is
No, it's-
within reach.
She's saying
what
no.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Well,
I hear your community are very fond of that.
I prefer the falconry gauntlet.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were discussing those clicky counter things that people use in needlework. I can't remember them being used in circuit training. I don't know, not that I've done that much of it, but I don't know why it would be. But anyway, Matt from Leicester has said, as an ex-doorman, they are called tally counters.
Yes.
Useful. Good intel. Thank you, Matt.
We've had a missive in about someone having a retail experience, which I'd like to share with you. I'd like to first, though, get your opinion on something, which is I was buying a new computer the other day.
Always a big moment. Laptop or...
It's a laptop to keep on the go with me when I for work I need to do, because the last one was a bit Benedict cumbersome, I found, to drag it around.
So have you gone lightweight?
Gone a bit lightweight.
Right.
I don't need so much. My processor doesn't need to be that big, for heaven's sake, when I'm on the go.
Thought that.
Oh, I'm thinking of Emily now, professional writer, sort of catching a moment here, waiting for a train. Another chapter.
Yeah.
Well,
Called stenographer. Fabulous. Oh, how your life has changed.
I was in the store, Frank, and this chap was absolutely charming. He was helpful. He steered me away from the most expensive and encouraged me to get the slightly less expensive, because he said, you don't need all that. You don't need that expensive one. It's too much.
He was building you up for a chat-up line.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to go out with me? You don't need...
Did he say to you, do you drink alcohol? Just on a computer.
But he was absolutely great. I thought he was brilliant.
Was this at the Apple store?
It was within... I'm going to say it was within John Lewis.
Oh,
okay.
And he went away to get... he said, why don't you go and get yourself a coffee and then come back, because you don't even wait around for me, and I'll get everything together for you.
Wow,
well, I was
he was
bowled over by this man.
Oh, well, he's never knowingly under-bowled.
Jingle for that joke. Jingle for that joke, please.
Worst possible start to the new year. The producer, who's got 3 jobs to do, didn't turn up the jingles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, how depressing.
His name was...
Depressing.
Come on. You've just met the Pope. Put it in perspective.
I know.
Ebby, his name was...
It's nice to meet someone who cares occasionally.
Ebby was charming.
Ebby?
Yes.
Where did that name come from? Had you named him before?
No.
Oh. Ebby?
His name was Ebby.
Producing new info.
And I don't know, I said something odd. I said, it's like me, I'm Emily. Well, Emmy. A strange thing to say. Anyway, I wanted to bond with him to show my gratitude. Yeah. So I went to get my coffee while Ebby got everything together. And you know what? I thought, he's been so lovely, I'm going to get him a gift.
You never.
Ooh,
So I got him a Starbucks gold coin.
Did you?
The big coin.
That would have been my guess.
Yes.
But it would have been a jokey guess.
Brilliant.
Well, he looked quite bemused when I handed it over.
He probably thought it was a travel mouse mat.
Well, there was an angry old man who was standing there, and
Nothing
he said...
wrong with that.
No, but he said, when Ebby was helping me, he said, seems like he knows a thing or two about these. In a sort of angry way, but I think he wanted help but was struggling to express his vulnerability.
Okay.
So I said, you should go to Ebby, he's absolutely brilliant. He said, well, I'm having an absolute nightmare. Everything's broken down.
Was he from the north?
Yeah,
angry old men are always caricatured as the northern.
He was, I'm afraid, Al. He then said, I'm more of a Hewlett-Packard man myself.
Oh,
did he?
Something you down here.
I want all my life. I said, well, you know what Ebby might recommend? I said, I find...
Oh, Ebby this and Ebby that.
I was getting mentionitis. Well, and I'd given him the gold coin. He was so happy by that stage. He said, I can't believe you've given me the coin.
He's got a face full of a gold coin now. He's like...
Yeah, exactly.
Ebby, so then the man said, he said, well, I probably don't need the same machine as you. I said, well, I don't know. I normally use it for emails. He goes, I don't want emails. I've been retired, love, 9 years. I don't need emails.
Oh.
He was very aggressive with me. And I said, get Ebby to help you. He'll help you. He said, the thing is, your uses are probably different to mine. Your uses are different. I don't really want to hear from people.
Okay.
I said to Ebby...
I'm warming to this guy.
Yeah, I see parallels.
Yeah.
I said to Ebby as I left, I said, go and help that man. I said, I think he might be a bit tricky. already I felt like I was sort of working there. We were on side together.
Tricky. It's like a code that staff use about certain customers.
Didn't take you long to move to Schadenfreude, lead him into some difficult situation.
But listen, the reason I bring this up is to say, what do you think we, the gold coin, and any retail assistants listening, would they like to be bought a gold coin? Would they feel that was a strange thing to do and feel pressure to eat it when it might not
This is a
agree
great
with them?
text in. If you work in retail, how would you feel about gold coin gifts?
Yeah.
I think
What do you think, Frank?
Well, there's a lady who works on the checkout desk at our local Marks and Spencer's food place, and Kath, my partner, and her sister Rachel bought her a gift.
Did they?
Because they think that she's so friendly and helpful and positive all the time. And they took her in, I think, chocolates or something.
That's nice.
Lovely.
Gave it to her and she burst into tears. So, you know, be careful what you wish for.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
So I was talking about Ebby and the golden coin.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We were at the Epicentre.
Very good.
Retail.
Very good.
And we've actually had a missive in from Edward.
Do you think Ebby and the Golden Coin could be a children's book?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like one, doesn't it?
Sort of Jamie and the Magic Torch.
Yeah, that kind of thing. James and the Giant Peach.
This is from... we've already had a lot of Ebby correspondence in.
Oh, really?
Yes. For example, we have one saying, "Morning team, Jack the Gardener from Bromley here.
Okay.
I'm tempted to give small chocolate coins as tips from now on.
Nice.
But they need to be palmed secretly, like you see in the films
that's
when
good.
rich men tip hotel bellboys."
I worked with a bloke. I did a little bit of cash in hand work. Obviously, I've declared it all retrospectively.
Yeah, of course.
And this bloke used to come over at the end of the thing and he'd say, "Grump, put that in your pocket." And he'd make the most like we were doing a drug deal, make such a fuss out of giving me like 20 quid. Here, put that in your pocket. And he used to have it like in the back of his hand, like when you smoke at school.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Don't smoke, kids.
No. Yes, so this is from Edward regarding his retail experience.
Mm-hmm.
"Dear Frank and the gang, I just purchased some items at a well-known chemist chain and the price was £3.18. Normally I'd pay with a card, but happening to have brass in pocket,
Love it. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
brass in pocket, I handed over £3.20 in coins, not having the exact amount on me. And this was, if you may recall, for a £3.18 total.
Yeah.
The lady behind the counter handed me my goods and receipt, but no 2p change. It didn't even cross her mind that I might want it. Like a true Brit, I said nothing, but it got me thinking, is our coin currency now so devalued that rounding up and not giving small change is normal these days? Like the days of the lira and the drachma. More importantly, though, how would Alan have reacted in this situation? Any tips? Pun not intended, but appreciated. Gratefully received for next time, Edward. Alan,
Well, to be absolutely
over to
honest,
you.
I think I'm having a heart attack just hearing about it. I cannot believe that he thinks it's a British thing to just walk away. I would still be standing at the counter shouting, "Where's my 2 pence?" Surely.
That would be a dignified moment in your life.
I have.
One among many.
I have had the flip side of this though. When
Gained 2 pence.
when they've it's been I've owed them some and they've sort of rounded it up a bit.
Or down.
Or
Said, let you
down.
off. Right, yeah.
Yeah, down.
I see, yeah.
But if someone just did that to me, I wouldn't care about the 2p. I'd just compare about the lack of self-respect. Well, lack of respect from them.
You see, I think you're right, but I'd be
It's bullying. It's actually bullying.
It is, you're
it's
right.
thinking
It
this
is.
person will be too
Bullying.
polite to say anything. It is bullying.
It is. And also shout out for the reference to lira and drachma. I think that's...
I miss the drachma.
Again, gone but not forgotten.
I definitely wouldn't say anything because Because self-respect.
No, I would say I'm not having someone just thinking, oh, he won't say anything. I can't be bothered to find 2p. No. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe he was buying something so embarrassing in the Popular Chemist that the person just wanted to get him out of there.
That could be it.
This is true, Edward. What was Edward buying?
Yeah,
8, 12, 15.
But I don't think we can ask him. I once got in. This is when I first realised the power of Twitter. I got home one night and my partner said to me, "What were you doing in Superdrug?"
Oof.
And if you're spotted in a shop like that, you don't want it to be Superdrug because there's too many potential controversy. I had to show an itemised bill.
Oh.
I mean, it's like East Germany.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We've had some correspondence in, haven't we, Al, about the 2p dilemma.
Okay.
It's good.
Has anyone said 2p or not 2p?
Nobody so far.
Good, respect.
I feel this is very much Al's area, the fiscal.
Well, 181 has texted, mine was worse. I was asked if I wanted the 2p. I was shocked. I ended up saying, no, you're okay. Dave from Coventry.
How far would you have to get away from the counter before you thought, why did I do that?
848 has got the answer right. I'd have demanded said 2p, then deposited it in charity box. Self-respect intact. Although they've slightly spoiled it by doing intact as 2 words.
They don't tend to have the charity boxes so much. Do you remember you always had a sort of outside a shop and newsagent, you would get a sort of charity box. You don't get that anymore.
I thought there'd be a dog with a slot in its head from the RSPCA. Yeah.
Boy with a brace on his leg.
What I'd do is I'd demand the 2p and then I'd go into a sort of American baseball pitcher's move and just really throw it as hard as I could at the shop assistant.
Good answer.
In Niall Quinn's autobiography, I don't know if you ever read that.
I haven't read that.
Niall Quinn.
Quinino, as I believe people used to refer to him.
Yeah, the former.
Briefly Quinino.
Yeah, and he talks about many interesting things. It's a very good book, actually.
Is it?
But one of the things he talks about is his uncle.
Big bum, Niall Quinn.
Did he?
Yes.
Or he is?
Google. No.
Okay.
I can say that because I've also got
an
one.
enormous bomb.
Kardashian.
Dr. David Owen of the SDP. Massive bomb. I don't know if he's any longer with us.
Gove?
But
Gove big bum.
Oh yeah, he's got a massive
We
bum.
can say this now. It's good to have a big bum, so it's fine to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I don't know if it's
criticising
as good for men.
No, it's good for ladies, but
There's the old big nail saying, but we won't go into that. What was I forgot what I was talking about. You took me off
I'm
my.
so sorry.
Oh yes. So he said he had an uncle, and he said Niall Quinn, and he said he lived alone, and he said he went out to the pub every night without fail. He said, and he had one room in his house was just had carpet and no furniture at all, and just a golf club leaning against the wall. He said my uncle would get him from the pub every night, take all the change out of his pockets, throw it onto the floor, and then he would drive it off the carpet into the plaster of the wall. He said this one wall, he said, was a mass of coins that was stuck that he'd driven into the wall. And at the end of this incredible story, Niall Quinn ends with, as I say, he lived alone.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We were discussing not being given change based on an email that we'd received from Edward, I think. And we've just had an email in from 449, an email from 449, so they're joining in with the captioning of their phone number at the end, you know.
That's nice.
Yeah, innit? I was in Marks and Spencer's the other day, and the lady never gave me my 10p change.
10p now?
10. Going up to the silvers. I was too embarrassed to ask for it because I'd gone to the clothes counter when I was actually purchasing a sandwich. Brackets, they were really busy. close brackets. I felt like that was the price I had to pay for using the wrong counter.
Yes, I would have felt that.
You think so? That there should be an extra tithe on going to the wrong counter?
I love tithe.
Thank you.
Not used nearly enough.
No.
I'm not saying there should be an extra tithe. I'm just saying I would feel guilt and thus compelled to pay it in a similar fashion. Eddie from Colston has got in touch. Whenever someone assumes that I don't want my small amount of change, I quote Tommy Cooper, who, when it happened to him, said, "It's not the principle, it's the money." Keep up your contractually obliged obligations, and Happy New Year. And then we also have Fiona on a fiscal note, Al. Says, talking of drachma, I remember hearing a children's quiz on the radio, and one of the questions was which country had drachma as its currency, and the child answered Transylvania.
Very good. What about this now for an act of spontaneous kindness on my own part?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't do many
You're
acts.
going to publicise it.
I
Good
don't
for
do
you.
many acts, but I did the Sarah Cox TV show with Jason Manford, my absolute stable mate.
Yes.
And Jason said to me, how are the ticket sales for your West End show? Many of you will know I'm doing the Garrick Theatre.
Oh, yes.
From the 13th of January to the 15th of February.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be
Anyway, he said to me,
month.
he said
Brilliant.
to me, how's the ticket sales going?
What do you say?
Well, when I told him, I took 15% off.
Did you?
I made them lower because I saw it as like it was just before Christmas, and I thought it'll make him so happy. It's like a gift. It's like a Christmas
Or
gift.
that you're not selling as well as you
Yeah,
are?
because you know what comics are like.
Well,
So I took it down a notch, and he went, and I could see.
Oh, I don't.
I could see that I'd absolutely warmed his
I
heart.
can't believe you did that.
No, I thought it was a nice thing to do.
You know, everybody else on the circuit would have gone exactly the other way. Put 15% extra on their sales.
Well, it's probably an age thing. As you get older, you think, you know what? Why not bring a
getting
little bit
nicer.
of sunshine
When
into
you take the
people's lives?
percentage off, is that how you talk about it in terms of how many sold?
No, so if I said at what percentage tickets were sold, but I took 15% off.
Yes. So, but that's how you're. So, percentage of the whole tour.
Yeah,
you're
Yeah,
talking
of the
about.
whole run. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I thought I felt quite pleased with myself that I was able to pull that off, and knowing. I bet he went home with a warm glow and a little spring in his step.
I mean, I could never do that about any of my shows because you can't sell minus.
Oh,
Percentages.
no.
Well, he's on -3 for his London run.
So I want to know what Frank took it down to.
Yeah, we'll do
You
that.
know what I'm going?
We'll do that while playing a record.
85. He went.
Oh,
We all know the truth.
No. It was. Look, I'm not. Jason's a very nice bloke, but he's a comic.
Jason's lovely.
He's a comic. I know.
Thank
I
you.
know the gift that he'll love most. You know, when you give someone a gift, you're a bit anxious they might not like it. I didn't have any of that.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I thought of you quite quickly when I saw a news story this week, Frank Skinner.
Oh yeah.
It was about Lionel Messi,
Oh yeah.
who, late review, very good footballer.
Oh, you're not bad.
The goat.
But he is a goat. For anybody who's unaware, that's
Bit of a goat.
the greatest of all time.
Unlike a bit of a git.
No, it's very different from a bit of a git. But he was spotted, according to the newspapers, training at a gym whilst watching his best goals of 2019 on TV. And one of the reasons it made me think of you is that I have a vivid memory of a party that was thrown in celebration of your career.
Oh,
where,
yes.
where there was a highlights reel of Frank Skinner, and I remember enjoying many of the jokes, but I was very pleasantly surprised to see you enjoying many of your own jokes as well.
Well, this is the great thing about getting older, is you forget large tranches of everything you've said and done.
I did wonder if that was why Lionel Messi was watching the thing, because it's been the summer and he's probably thinking, I've completely forgotten how to play football.
Well, they're on a winter break, so maybe that's long enough now.
Oh, it's a
at this
winter
age.
break, I meant, you know what I mean.
Well, he got,
Because-
was it 50 he scored, professional goals he scored this year?
Yeah, he is
said-
good.
He is pretty good.
Late review.
But I've got to say, I think he was a man more sinned against than sinning, because people were commenting on this. It went viral, didn't it, Al?
It did go viral.
Do you know what they said?
They said it's going viral.
Some said greatness watching greatness. Some said, footballer loving himself, you do surprise me.
Did they?
Someone said, get a grip. I like get a grip to Lionel Messi.
My first thought was, I bet he's got that treadmill on walk mode. Because I've never known a professional footballer walk as much on the pitch as Lionel Messi does.
Yeah.
I mean, this has come more, obviously, as he's got older.
Yeah.
But
Right.
apart from those bursts of, activity when he does something special, he just strolls about. Like, have you ever had that experience? It's often at a wedding or something like that, when you have to walk across a dance floor.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like high energy, and you're just strolling through trying to find the space. That's what he's like.
He's like that. That's where he learned his skill.
He's a big walker.
Yeah, he was a glass collector at a wedding ceremony. That's how he got spotted.
That's one of the things I like about Messi, is that you'd never know, if you didn't know him and you saw him out, you'd never think I bet that bloke's some sort of professional athlete.
Yeah. Because he's little, isn't he?
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo is the other, obviously, candidate for GOAT.
Yes.
He looks like a Strictly Come Dancing professional.
Yes.
He could absolutely, if he came on there one week, and can you imagine if he wasn't, and they said, no, our new dancer Cristiano, and he came on, you'd completely accept it.
Oh.
Whereas Messi looks like, I don't know if you've ever been in betting shops, but that bloke there's always in the betting shop.
Yeah.
Who
Yes.
gets a chair in there and has a bet on everything.
Well, he did look a bit to me like he might have been watching his screen, in fairness, and it happened to be on.
Oh, you think they just put it on in the gym?
Yes, I scrutinised the photograph, and I felt he was... I don't know if this is more reputation damaging, but it looked like some sort of video game, to be honest.
Oh.
Okay.
But on his actual screen. But what I would say, if you look at the way, in terms of vanity, on the vanity scale, how high would he be? Balotelli, if you got Balotelli up there as a solid 9.5.
Yeah, he's lower than Balotelli.
Balotelli once said, if you meet a guy as good as me, I'll buy you dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
What
Who
he
did he
didn't
say that to?
He didn't say
to you at customs.
He didn't say it to Lionel Messi, that's for sure.
No.
Derek Jeter, the baseball player, apparently says, yeah, Jeets, every time he watches himself back on
Does
telly.
he really?
Okay.
The cockerel thinks that's a bit big-headed.
Whereas
Do you go, yeah, cockerel?
I just sit and laugh at myself heartily. Well, someone said, one of the tweet, of course this was an absolute fest of saying what had been said on Twitter and then having photos of the tweets just to fill up space. Someone said, I feel sorry for Messi because he can't enjoy the sensation we feel when we watch him live. Whereas I think Ronaldo probably feels sorry for us that we can't feel the sensation he feels when he watches himself live. We'll never have that complete thrill.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were discussing Lionel Messi watching himself play football whilst on a treadmill. Are you aware of the work of Kevin Bacon, the actor?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. I remember reading an article, it must be literally 20 years ago, that Kevin Bacon, who starred in the film Footloose and did the dance, didn't he?
Yes.
You know, he did a lot of dancing in Footloose. I remember that he said in this article that when he went to parties, he would quietly go up to the DJ, the disc jockey, and say, do you have Footloose? And if they had it on record, he would buy it off them for like $200 because he knew that once it was seen that he was at a disco party thing, people would keep going up and going, put Footloose on, put Footloose. And then he'd end up having to do the dance. So he would just buy it. But now he can't do that, presumably, because everyone can just digitally download it.
Oh, I thought you meant because he's pushing 60.
He can't do the dance, and also
Been
he can't,
working
he
so
can't get
hard.
hold of
Oh,
the
my
music.
hips.
In fact, if anything, he shouldn't really be advertising high-speed broadband because it's been his undoing on this, but he is. But I wonder if Lionel Messi, wherever he goes, if he's getting on a treadmill, people go, put the highlights of Lionel Messi on because he's here.
Yeah.
Do you think it's that he's just surrounded by Lionel Messi highlights?
I went to the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff, and I was in the shop there, and they put on Mommy on the Orient Express, which was
classic.
And I've been in several places. I was in a shop recently, a sort of a Forbidden Planet type shop.
Mm-hmm.
And they put on Three Lions, which is something they'd never play in a shop with comics and models of the Flash.
No,
they'd never play a football song.
Yes,
so yeah,
quite
it does happen.
mainstream for them.
Having said that, I wouldn't part with any money to stop it.
Have you ever had that thing, Frank, where they've played? I was with when Jonathan Ross was hosting the film show. I was in a restaurant and the pianist started playing the theme tune as we walked in.
Well, I went to a circus.
Pianist.
Where...
Did I say that oddly?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Pianist.
Oh, I don't. I've always said it in a strange way.
Funny.
Yeah.
I think everybody has got at least one word that they pronounce differently from everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's Wednesday. Everyone thinks it's weird that I say the D.
Yeah.
My dad and antiquity.
Antiquity.
For etiquette. And also the Somerset Moor we called
Moorhat.
Somerset Matham. Yeah.
So have they played anything like that when you've been...
Well, I was at a circus once where the circus orchestra played not only Three Lions tune, but also played the theme tune from Fantasy Football, a show I did in the distant past.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
A strange homage.
But again, I wouldn't have paid them not.
Frank, Kylo Ren, who I know your son is a big fan of his, the actor Adam Driver, he is very phobic about watching his own performances, won't ever watch himself. Why he expects the rest of us to, I don't know.
Good point.
And in fact walked out of an interview recently when they played an excerpt of him singing in a movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Is he related to Betty Driver, who used to play Betty Turpin in Coronation Street?
Why did she keep her
Good
name?
question. 8, 12, 15.
She, if I remember rightly, was...
Fabulous matriarch.
She was in a George Formby film, Betty Driver. She was a dancer and all that.
Good knowledge.
When I say all that...
All the
just trust me.
latest hot gossip coming here to you on Absolute Radio.
Yeah. Minnie Driver, is she part of this?
I think she might be related to Adam Driver. Is that right?
What's that?
She might be related to Adam Driver.
No.
I think she's related. I think she's related to the famous driver David Coulthard, because they've both got one of those chins that looks like a shield.
Yes.
You know, face like a shield. Minnie Driver, lovely girl, face like a shield. That's my summary.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
John Boy has got in touch.
Has he really?
Yes. 527.
Okay.
Me, my dad, and my mum worked.
Is this a Joan Armour trading song?
Me, my dad, and my mum worked at John Lewis.
Okay.
Family affair. Anything but money is good. This is referring back, we should say, to when I...
Gifts for good retail people.
Oh, yeah, when you were giving the chocolate coins out. I didn't follow that.
I gave Ebby the gold coin for good service. Me, my dad, and my mum worked at John Lewis. Anything but money is good. As if we get a tip, it has to go in the till, as we are all partners.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you know, they don't call themselves assistants, they refer to them as partner. Ebby actually said, when he was trying to help the angry Hewlett-Packard man, he said, let me speak to one of the other partners and see if they can advise.
Oh,
they refer to each other as partners.
I never knew that. How weird.
It is a little, yeah.
So he then says, John Boy, good intel from John Boy, we're all partners except drivers. They can keep it.
So you can give your driver a financial tip, but if you are in the store, keep it to chocolate coins.
Who are the drivers at Marks and Spencer's?
John
Lewis,
the
darling.
delivery
Waitrose.
drivers, I think.
Oh, what do they deliver?
Well, whatever you get. You know,
Things
if you
to buy in
order
the
it
shop.
online, like.
What?
What do you think they deliver?
I think you can
Furniture.
order groceries, maybe denim jeans, perhaps some white goods, that sort of stuff.
Sorry,
okay.
are we going to let denim jeans slide, Frank?
I was trying to pick things that would be amusing out of
Denim jeans. I think
Yeah.
jeans is fine.
Well, I don't mind.
Tautology, is
I'm
that
always
what
happy
you're
with a
saying?
bit of extra info.
Denim jeans. You know what you sound like?
I think you mean
A sort of
an old lady.
disapproving 1950s preacher. He turned up wearing denim jeans.
Right, yeah.
Do people still wear brushed denim? Is that still a thing?
Don't think that's as common as it might have been once upon a time.
And stonewash.
There's a lot of stonewash knocking about, though, because the kids
there?
are all into the 80s stuff.
Are
You
they?
know, fleeces, big shoes, big trainers, that sort of
Big
stuff.
shoes. There's a shop near me that they might be interested in.
Yes, we know. What's it called again, Frank?
It's called the Freak Shop. For people with enormous feet.
Have they
Yeah.
not run out of names for those shops? They've had Long Tall Sally, surely.
But I don't know.
There's a few, aren't there?
They have
Is
big,
it got
big
Long John
men.
Silver?
They have big men shops that they call names.
Is there a Long John Silver?
Well, that wouldn't really work for a shoe shop unless you were biting them one at a time. Oh, I don't know what you'd call it. It's
The tall guy?
But do you have to be tall and have big feet?
Oh,
No. You could just have big feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could look like a shelf bracket and
Yeah.
be as tall as you are.
Well, as we know, Winslet's not massively tall, and she's got the old size 9s, I believe.
9.5 UK, Kate Winslet. As I always say, can't watch telly in bed.
That's so not creepy at all that you know that.
Well, she was on the Bigfoot Babes website, which is where I came across this.
Is that right?
information. Well, actually, what I actually did, I saw an interview with her on American television, and most of it was about her big feet.
Right.
And in America, she's like 11 and a half. So she kept saying, I've got 11 and a half feet. And I was thinking, what?
Right.
And so I Googled her feet to see if that was the UK or the thing. And I ended up on Bigfoot Babes. But her argument was that her mom was a model or something and was very tall. And so she inherited the feet, but not the height.
Ah.
There you have it.
Life can be cruel.
Well, she's got round it.
Yeah.
In many ways, very good at finding a mark when she's filming. Because I mean, it's a broad church.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Tell Frank Skinner that the first McDonald's in Britain. This is a text message, by the
Tell
way.
Frank Skinner. Is
Tell Frank
is
Skinner.
that a bit like the old grey goose is dead?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the tone on this.
No, okay.
I think it's in response to something Emily said.
Is it a text?
Yes.
I always
Yes.
say though, text should have stage direction, so in brackets.
I said Frank.
With a lightness of touch. Tell
Yes.
Frank Skinner.
Jollier tone than you may be expecting.
I mentioned that the Golders Green McDonald's was an early addition to the McDonald's franchise. And
I think you said it was the first.
Oh, I thought I said one of the first. I do apologise. If I said the actual first, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I have to tell Frank Skinner that the first McDonald's in Britain was in Woolwich, London, opened in 1975. It was there because it was so close to the Thames, it would only have half of the catchment area of a normal branch. So if it could succeed there, it could succeed anywhere. Opened by Ed Stewart, the DJ.
Lovely intel.
Stew pot.
Is it?
Yeah, Ed Stewart. And if they can, do you think he sang, if you can make it there, you'll make it? Who'd have thought that? We'll put it by the river so it only gets off. What about...
Sort of stress testing its
what
early...
about water traffic? What
Good
about
point.
people? What about boaters and
Jolly
stuff?
sailors stopping
Yeah.
for a McDonald's.
Yeah, nautical types.
Oh, Jolly Swagman.
Don't think it happened.
Yeah.
Back to sporting news.
Well, there's a story. I bet I know what story you were excited by this week.
I think you might.
Are we thinking of the same one, perchance? The karate nanas, Frank. Did you read about them?
I did.
Well, Alan, I mean, I think...
This covers, I'd say, both of our passions, martial arts and old ladies. Two. What were in their 70s? These women.
72 and 77. Sheila and Isabel
From Fife.
from Fife, and they've got their black belts
Yes.
Five.
in karate.
Ooh, five.
Now I don't know
He
if
says,
I've
how can you say karate again? Just while we're talking about
Karate.
pianist.
karate.
Okay.
What's wrong with that karate?
Karate, I would say.
I would give it another syllable, but I wouldn't argue with Alan Cochrane on the martials.
Karate. I did actually do quite a lot of karate as a child, and I
Yes.
think I might have regaled you with one of my early anecdotes about it, which is that when I was a young man, whilst suffering from horrendous diarrhea, I sat my brown belt in Shotokan karate.
Ironic.
In what?
Very ironic.
What kind
indeed.
of karate?
Shotokan.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a stressful day anyway to be scrutinised in that way. But what you don't want to do when you've got tummy trouble is publicly perform high kicks in white pyjama trousers. That's not
I've always said
Well,
that.
lucky you weren't in
a fun
Lexington
day
then.
out for these. But so my hat is off to these ladies. I don't know, what kind of shape they're in, but
They
fair
look,
play to them.
Oh, Donald Trump talking about his partner.
They look,
in
they
great
look
shape.
pretty good. Both wear spectacles, I noticed, which reminded me of that picture I've got of Elvis doing karate in shades. Tell me, Al, could one practically perform karate in glasses?
I mean, yeah, you'd have to be pretty confident, though, that you weren't going to get thumped in the face.
What
Yeah,
about
exactly.
the sort of glasses Deirdre Barlow wore in 1976?
Are they wearing those in the
Yeah,
picture?
well, they're quite old school glasses.
Oh, dear.
They're a bit Dennis Taylor, World Snooker Championship.
Perhaps they're so thick of lens that they think, well, anybody that punches these will hurt their hand.
Think sort of early 80s serial killer. That's the glasses.
I mean,
It took them 4 or 5 years. I wanted to ask as well. They
Yeah.
got the black belt. 2015 they started, Frank.
yeah.
Is that a fast trajectory?
Any credible martial art would say that that's too fast.
yeah.
Because,
Why?
because it's obviously nonsense, isn't it? Just handing them out like
They're
Firing them from-
slamming through the dans. Yeah.
Al's got beef.
too soon. It
Al's
makes
got
me
into-
cringe, this story.
I was a bit.
Why? Tell me. Oh, it
see,
makes.
my first
Listen,
thought-
we need to. I'm afraid. The fez is emerging.
My first thought was my son does judo, and one of the first things he was taught that when he lands on the floor, he really slams the floor hard with his
Yes.
forearm. Ow! Like that. Now, even at my age, my bones are basically like aero. If I
Pressing start.
I
to people's
worry.
day.
I worry for these women in their 70s slamming. Maybe that doesn't happen in karate. You
No.
tell me.
I think they'll be kicking and punching fresh air and then being given a belt. That's the sad, searing indictment on this whole news story.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Anyway, back with more fun after this.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
351 agrees with me. Re the karate pensioners, I can sympathise with Alan. I imagine they are giving them belts in the same way that universities chase after film stars with honorary doctorates. Some people have to work for years to get one of those.
I've got two.
Matt in
I've got
Oxford.
two honorary doctorates. I have got 2 other degrees that I had to work for. All right. Thanks.
for
At
you.
the end of Jude the Obscure, I think Jude has tried his whole life to gain some sort of to just get into academia, and as he dies, I think he hears the rich sons, the bell ringing, saying that the sons of rich families have been given honorary doctorates.
Oh.
There you go.
Spoiler alert.
Thomas Hardy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Late review. I just like the idea of when the Christmas cake came out with one of the pensioners, and someone says, "We'll get a knife. Get you a knife, Edna," and she says, "No need."
Yeah.
There you go. Help
Brilliant.
yourselves.
She said, yeah, when one of them was discussing it, because she'd taken the grandkids along, obviously, she said, I decided to give it a go, and she said, the rest is history. When you say history, I mean, I don't think it's not up there with the fall of Constantinople.
No.
Well, look, it's a lovely, heartwarming story with hardcore violence at its centre.
And inspiring, Frank.
And that's nice.
As you know, I still
if they're
plan.
77, 72, they've lived through actual history that's more interesting than them getting their black belts.
Well, it
in their
was
twilight
inspiring.
years.
It was inspiring until Al basically exposed that it was fixed.
Rubbished it.
I still plan to run the 100 metres. Sarah, we need to sort that out. I have an athlete.
This has been a long time coming.
Well, there were circumstances which meant I couldn't at the time, but now I'm prepared to do it. I'm ready
In
to
heels,
do it.
Was that the deal?
No,
Okay,
don't
sorry.
make it weird.
I added that. It's been so long.
Make it turn into some Dick Emery sketch.
I've always added
I'm doing it.
details.
I've got to do it. I believe I've got to do it in under 9.58 seconds,
That
which
was
is
what you-
Usain Bolt's record.
You think it'll be all right?
Look,
don't
we'll
you?
give you 10 seconds. You're a bit older than when you first declared you were
Dare
going to
you?
do it.
Well, Flojo, I think the late Florence Joyner Griffith holds the female record still, doesn't she?
Which
that
is
right?
which is what?
Something like 10.4, I'm guessing. 10 point something. But
Still
I don't
think
want to
I'd be
beat
able
that.
to do the pole vault.
I
but
wanna
that's a bit
beat
more
Bolt.
complicated to arrange.
Oh, okay.
I don't fancy the pole vault. If you get it right, I think I'd get up on the top of the upper arc of the pole vault and have a panic attack.
Oh, you reckon?
Question: If
And have to really balance on it.
I think we all have to attempt an event. Your pole vault. I'm doing the 100 metres. What are you choosing,
Can I
Skinner?
shoot geese?
Well, that's a good idea.
No, you can do shot put though.
I can't. Well, no, I don't want to go on with a dirty neck. That's all I remember about
Imagine if
shot put.
Fatima had said that.
Well, I know, but she's a more focused person than I am in that area of life. Certainly, wasn't she javelin anyway?
No, she was. I think she. What's the one where you stand in the little tiny tent and you throw it around?
I think she was javelin.
Oh, possibly.
But anyway,
I apologise, Fatima.
she doesn't listen. Apparently. So
You've
she's-
checked.
I think she does car boot on Saturday mornings. That's what she told me. I mean, who wants to buy old weights, old javelins? Anyway, yeah. They should have a beige belt for pensioners.
Oh yes.
Wouldn't that be
And you
nice?
could
Elasticated.
Yes, like the ones you see in the back of the supplements.
Yeah, there'll be some in today's papers, almost certainly.
How much a month?
Beige karate belt.
$7.99.
Senior beige karate belt brackets seniors. 18.99. 7 payments of 10 quid.
Bargain.
Thank you for listening to us. It's great to be back in 2020. I mean, come on. At last, a year that, a decade that it's easy to say. Because let's face it, the fact that we've got absolute naughties and absolute teens, I mean, it's complicated, isn't it? But absolute 20s, I look forward to that. Said he optimistically. Anyway, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.